Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. DTC P0463 indicates a problem with the fuel level sensor or fuel gauge sending unit circuit in the Honda Accord 2008 to 2012 models. The fuel level sensor plays a crucial role in accurately measuring the amount of fuel in the tank, providing this information to the vehicle's gauge control module. This is vital for informing the driver about fuel levels, preventing unexpected disruptions during operation. The fuel gauge sending unit is located within the fuel tank and operates by changing resistance based on the level of fuel. When the circuit voltage is too high, as in this case, the vehicle's diagnostic system flags this DTC to alert technicians to the issue. Understanding this error is the first step toward resolving any related problems effectively and efficiently. The DTC P0463 relates specifically to the fuel level sensor circuit, which is part of the fuel gauge sending unit. This sending unit is located inside the fuel tank, where it measures fuel levels via a float mechanism connected to a resistor. As fuel levels change, the float moves, altering the resistance and sending this information to the gauge control module. This module processes the data, which in turn drives the fuel gauge on the vehicle's dashboard. When there's a high voltage signal present, it usually indicates an open circuit or short in wiring, which needs to be addressed. Thus, understanding the layout and components involved is critical for successful troubleshooting. Several issues can trigger the DTC P0463, starting with a faulty fuel level sensor itself. This component can malfunction due to wear and tear, resulting in incorrect voltage readings. Additionally, wiring issues such as damaged, corroded, or loose wires can disrupt the signal transmission between the sensor and gauge control module, causing irregular voltage. Open or short circuits in the fuel level sensor circuit can also lead to erroneous high voltage readings. It's important to meticulously investigate each of these possibilities as they contribute to the overall functionality of the fuel gauge system. Proper diagnostics will lead to identifying whether it is a component failure or a wiring issue. When DTC P0463 is triggered, several symptoms may manifest, primarily relating to inaccurate fuel gauge readings. A driver may notice that the gauge fluctuates erratically or remains stuck, providing misleading information about the actual fuel level. In some cases, the fuel gauge may fail to register any fuel level at all, which can lead to unexpected fuel depletion. Additionally, the fuel warning light may activate, warning the driver of a potential issue even when fuel may still be present in the tank. These symptoms underscore the importance of addressing the DTC promptly to ensure safe vehicle operation. Monitoring these signs can help catch issues before they escalate into larger problems. The first step in troubleshooting DTC P0463 begins with turning the ignition switch to the on second position. This action powers the vehicle's electrical systems without starting the engine, allowing diagnostics to run. Before proceeding further, it's essential to record all freeze data. This data captures the vehicle's state at the moment the DTC was triggered, providing valuable insights for diagnosis. Following this, use the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS, to clear the DTC from memory. This step helps reset the system and allows for checking if the DTC returns, indicating a persistent problem. Waiting for at least 5 seconds after clearing the DTC is important to ensure the system fully refreshes. After clearing the DTC, the next step involves checking for any pending or confirmed DTCs within the DTC's menu of the HDS. This is crucial as it determines whether the initial error, DTC P0463, is still an active concern or has resolved itself. indicating an intermittent failure. If DTC P0463 is confirmed upon checking the menu, it means that the problem has not dissipated and further investigation is warranted. Conversely, if no DTCs are present, it may suggest that there are poor connections somewhere in the system, such as loose terminals at the gauge control module or sending unit. This systematic approach helps identify the root cause more effectively. If DTC P0463 is still indicated, turn the ignition switch to the lock 0 position in preparation for next steps. This action ensures all electrical systems are powered down, promoting a safe working environment. Next, remove the rear seat cushion carefully to access the underlying components. This may involve releasing clips or fasteners, securing the seat in place. Once the seat is removed, proceed to take off the access panel from the floor to reveal the underlying wiring and components. Accessing these areas is vital for further inspection and component diagnosis, allowing an in-depth look at the fuel tank unit and its connection to the gauge control module. After gaining access, the next step is to disconnect the fuel tank unit's 4P connector. This connector serves as a vital link between the fuel sending unit and the vehicle's electrical system. By carefully detaching this connector, you can inspect it for any signs of corrosion, damage, or faulty connections that could contribute to high voltage issues. Once disconnected, you'll be in a position to measure the voltage between pins number 1 and number 5. 3 at the 4P connector to check the actual operating voltage. This data will be critical in identifying if voltage levels are within expected parameters or if further issues exist in the circuit, such as shorts or opens that might need addressing. Continuing with the diagnostic process, turn the ignition switch back to the on/2 position while keeping the fuel tank unit's 4P connector disconnected. Now, it's time to measure the voltage between terminals number 1 and number 3 in the connector. It's essential to have a reliable multimeter for this task to ensure accurate readings. The expected reading should be battery voltage. If this is indeed the case, it indicates that power is reaching the fuel tank unit as it should. However, if the voltage reading is 0 or significantly less, it indicates a potential issue within the electrical path leading to the sending unit. Knowing this will guide the next steps in troubleshooting, which are crucial for resolving the DTC. If the voltage measured in the previous step was not battery voltage, turn the ignition back to the lock 0 position for safety. Prepare to create a ground for troubleshooting by connecting a jumper wire to terminal number 3 of the fuel tank unit's 4P connector and attaching the other end to a suitable body ground. This workaround allows you to simulate a proper grounding condition for the fuel level sensor circuit. By doing so, you will be able to check if the problem lies within the sensor or the wiring, as a proper ground should result in a change in behavior of the gauge control module. This step helps diagnose whether the sensor can respond correctly to a grounded condition, aiding in determining the root cause of high voltage in the circuit. Following the grounding test, the next troubleshooting step involves the removal of the gauge control module from its housing. This module is responsible for interpreting signals from the fuel level sensor and displaying the information on the dash. Before removing it, ensure you're properly equipped to handle sensitive electronic components. After removal, inspect the module for any visual signs of damage, such as burnt areas or corrosion on the connectors. It's also crucial to disconnect the 32P connector associated with this module to facilitate thorough diagnostics. This component can often be a common point of failure, so careful examination here can yield insights into the overarching problem of the DTC P0463. It's crucial to perform a final repair verification after addressing DTC P0463. Start by reconnecting all components that were disconnected during the troubleshooting process, ensuring all connections are secure and free from corrosion. Next, utilize the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS, again to clear any remaining DTCs, verifying that all error codes are erased from the system. After clearing, it's essential to perform a road test to ensure that the fuel gauge operates normally during various driving conditions. The successful operation of the gauge under usual circumstances will confirm that the issue has been effectively resolved. Monitoring for any recurring symptoms or DTCs post-repair indicates the success of the troubleshooting efforts. Implementing preventive maintenance can significantly help avoid future occurrences of DTC P0463. Begin by regularly inspecting the connectors and wiring associated with the fuel level sensor and gauge control module. Look for signs of wear, corrosion, or loose connections that can lead to intermittent issues. Additionally, keep an eye on the fuel gauge's operation. Any irregular readings should prompt immediate inspection to catch potential problems early. Ensuring that the vehicle's electrical grounds are properly connected will also aid in maintaining accurate signals. Taking these steps can enhance the longevity of components and improve overall vehicle reliability regarding fuel level reporting. In conclusion, diagnosing and repairing DTC P0463 requires an in-depth understanding of the fuel level sensor's operation and its connection to the gauge control module. Key points include recognizing the symptoms of inaccurate fuel readings and knowing the probable causes, such as faulty sensors or wiring issues. Following systematic troubleshooting steps, ranging from ignition checks to component inspections, ensures a thorough approach. Implementing preventive maintenance practices can help avoid similar issues in the future, thereby improving the vehicle's reliability. Accurate diagnostics and timely repairs contribute to safer vehicle operation, allowing drivers to have confidence in their fuel level readings. Adopting a proactive approach will prove beneficial in maintaining the integrity of these critical systems. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.